General Hospital spoilers reveal that in recent weeks, whispers around General Hospital have started to swell into full-blown speculation. And at the heart of that rising wave is Adam Huss, the actor whose portrayal of Nicholas Cassadine left a lasting impression on viewers and whose silence after his last on-screen appearance has now been shattered by a growing and unapologetically emotional desire to return to Port Charles. But this isn't just a story of a performer who misses a role. It's the manifestation of a deeper obsession, both personal and creative, that is starting to reshape how the writers, producers, and even fans view the future of the Cassadine legacy. For Huss, the role of Nicholas wasn't just another job. It became a vessel, an emotional container that allowed him to explore layers of rage, loss, arrogance, and guilt that few characters on daytime television carry so fully in their DNA. He stepped into the role during a turbulent time when Marcus Coloma could no longer continue. And what was meant to be temporary turned into something bigger, more potent, more permanent. Over time, Huss wasn't just filling the shoes of a prince from a cursed family, he was inhabiting them. And when Nicholas disappeared from the canvas in 2024, fans didn't simply register the character's absence, they felt it like an unresolved wound, a fracture in the dark heart of the Cassadine story. Now, Adam Huss has broken his silence, not with a press tour or a dramatic interview, but with something more telling. A subtle and deeply heartfelt social media campaign that hints not just at nostalgia, but a burning need to return. In recent posts, Huss didn't merely express gratitude for fan support, he revealed that the role had awakened something within him, something that now refuses to stay dormant. He described the soap opera world as a space to explore, but in reality, for him, it became a space to transform. That transformation may have begun with the script, but it now stretches far beyond the studio gates. It is affecting how Huss sees himself, and more importantly, how he defines his unfinished business with Nicholas Cassadine. Behind the scenes, writers at General Hospital have reportedly taken notice. According to insiders, there's an ongoing creative debate within the writers' room, one that revolves not just around whether Nicholas should return, but how to do it in a way that matches the magnitude of Adam Huss's obsession with the role. And that obsession is infectious. Writers who once plotted Nicholas's downfall are now crafting wild new trajectories, rethinking old alliances, and unearthing buried motivations. The return of Nicholas is no longer a possibility, it's becoming a gravitational pull, dragging the rest of the show's narrative orbit toward it. What's complicating matters, and, in a strange way, energizing them, is that Adam Huss's desire to return is fueling a chaotic but inspired storm of rewrites. Characters once thought to be dead may now resurface. Storylines involving the WSB, Victor's last known associates, or the remnants of Helena's shadow network are being revisited. This isn't simply about finding a door to let Nicholas back in, it's about cracking open the entire Cassadine mythology and pouring new fire into its cold, haunted core. Multiple sources have hinted that producers are keeping a close eye on fan response. And the fans are making themselves heard. At the recent General Hospital Fan Club weekend, Huss's appearance ignited a frenzy. His words weren't just a thank you, they were a declaration. He spoke of his passion, his respect for those who had played Nicholas before him, and his hope that his portrayal had earned a place in the complex web of Port Charles history. But most importantly, he made it clear, he's not done. That kind of passion has consequences. It becomes a creative force that destabilizes static storytelling and inspires writers to take risks. There are now rumors that entire character arcs are being quietly adjusted to prepare for Nicholas's return. Some suggest he may not come back alone. Others believe his re-entry will trigger a wave of revelations, particularly surrounding Laura, Ava, Spencer, and even Esme. But whatever form it takes, it's clear the narrative is being steered not just by plot logic, but by a kind of shared obsession, between actor, writer, and audience, to bring this character back and let him finish what he started. Adam Huss's journey also speaks to something deeper, the emotional symbiosis between an actor and a role. When he speaks about Nicholas, there's a weight to his words, a recognition that this character has been misunderstood, cast aside, and contorted by others' agendas. And in that recognition lies a mirror to Huss's own experience as a performer who entered through a side door and then had to fight to stay. Now, with the support of fans and the attention of producers, that fight may be reaching a turning point. But the narrative doesn't end there. There's a growing belief that the writers are using Huss's own emotional energy as a template for Nicholas's return arc. Imagine a Nicholas who has been imprisoned. Not just physically but psychologically, stewing in exile, grappling with who he once was and who he needs to become. His return would not be triumphant, it would be twisted, painful, redemptive. He may return with enemies, debts, or even blood on his hands. And through that darkness, the writers could explore what it means for a man who once ruled from shadows to now step into the spotlight, broken, desperate, and burning with the need to reclaim what he lost. This is the essence of what's brewing, a creative collision between real-life obsession and fictional redemption. Adam Huss's passion is no longer just an actor's passion. It has become part of the show's emotional architecture. Every line he delivers, every look he gives, carries the weight of someone who wants to be there, who fights to stay. And in the world of daytime drama, where characters come and go like weather patterns, that kind of commitment is rare, and it's powerful. The future of Port Charles is uncertain. Characters rise and fall. Villains are redeemed. Heroes stumble. But if the momentum continues, if the obsession holds, then Nicholas Cassadine's return may not just be another plot twist. It may be the catalyst for a full-scale renaissance in General Hospital storytelling. One that is raw, character-driven, and deeply personal. And if that happens, it will be because Adam Huss never let go. The story of Nicholas Cassadine is no longer just a character arc, it's an emotional phenomenon swallowing the boundaries between fiction and reality. What was once a role passed between actors has now become a battleground for identity, legacy, and control. And at the very heart of this tension stands Marcus Coloma. After months of silence and speculation, the whispers are growing louder. Coloma is ready to return. But his willingness to reclaim the role of Nicholas is far more than a casting update. It marks the beginning of an emotional aftershock, one that is shaking the very foundations of General Hospital's creative direction and drawing the writers, the actors, and the fans into a vortex of obsession, confusion, and artistic instability that continues to spiral with no sign of slowing down. The question is no longer if Nicholas will return, but which version will rise from the ashes. When Adam Huss stepped into the role in Coloma's absence, he brought a wounded elegance to the character, refined, poetic, and subtly self-destructive. Fans warmed to his performance, sensing something tragically noble in his portrayal. But Coloma's Nicholas was entirely different, icy, reactive, and dangerously repressed. His version carried the weight of the Cassadine bloodline like a poisoned crown, and while divisive, it left a mark. Now, Coloma's potential return threatens to unravel everything Huss helped rebuild, plunging the narrative back into the raw chaos that defined Nicholas's more villainous turns. What makes this situation more volatile is that Coloma's desire to return isn't being handled in private. It's a public, simmering phenomenon. On social media, he's dropped cryptic messages, some subtle, others bold, that suggest not just interest, but intention. There's a hunger in his tone. A sense that he believes the role of Nicholas was never truly finished. And that sense of unfinished business is contagious. It spread to the fans who feel emotionally anchored to his version, to producers weighing loyalty against evolution, and to writers who now find themselves in a paralyzing creative paradox. How do you bring back a character who already has two wildly different faces? That question has prompted a dramatic shift behind the scenes, a radical, even reckless reimagining of the Cassadine arc. According to multiple insiders, writers have begun overhauling entire plotlines, holding back potential exits, and reshaping planned story arcs to prepare for a version of Nicholas that may or may not materialize. This isn't about narrative logic anymore, it's about emotional urgency. The obsession surrounding Nicholas's return has gripped the show like a fever. Meetings have grown more tense. Story outlines are revised overnight. Some scripts are being written with ambiguous phrasing, allowing for either actor's face to be digitally or physically inserted depending on who signs the final contract. And yet, For all this backstage chaos, there's an undeniable truth driving the storm. Marcus Coloma wants to return. But this isn't the same man who walked away. By all accounts, Coloma's energy is different now, sharper, darker, more desperate. He has unfinished business with Port Charles, and that obsession isn't just about proving himself to the fans, it's about reclaiming something that was taken too soon. His public departure left a trail of unanswered questions. Was he forced out? Did he walk away voluntarily? Was there more tension than fans ever knew? These unanswered questions have transformed Coloma's return into something mythic, something dangerous. His name is no longer just an actor credit, it's a symbol of everything Nicholas represents. Betrayal, rebirth, vengeance, and the illusion of control. The ripple effect of this obsession is being felt across the canvas of the show. Characters connected to Nicholas, Laura, Ava, Spencer, Esme, are now adrift, frozen in emotionally suspended arcs as writers wait to see which version of Nicholas they will be forced to confront. Will it be the more composed, soulful presence Huss brought to the screen? Or will Coloma's colder, more manipulative version erupt back into Port Charles and undo everything? The writers are paralyzed by both options. And so they prepare for both. It's a creative split personality, and the result is a show that now feels caught in an identity crisis it cannot resolve. The real tragedy here is that General Hospital has allowed the obsession over Nicholas to eclipse the character's essence. He is no longer a man. He is a battleground. Fans aren't discussing his motivations, his trauma, or his relationships, they're debating actor loyalty, delivery style, and social media hints. He has become a proxy for a larger struggle happening in the soap opera industry, between legacy and reinvention, stability and spectacle, passion and politics. But the obsession doesn't end with fans or writers. Coloma himself has become part of the narrative machinery. The more he teases a return, the more the writers seem to accommodate it. There are rumors that a storyline involving Nicholas being held in psychological captivity, perhaps brainwashed or suffering from dissociative amnesia, is being floated as a way to explain any drastic changes in behavior or appearance. Others whisper about a twin twist or a clone, soap tropes long considered cliché, now being reconsidered under the weight of audience demand and actor rivalry. Some fans have started calling this saga, the battle for Nicholas, and it's a fitting name. Because this isn't just about a character's return. It's about control. Who controls the narrative? Who decides which version is canon? And at what point does the obsession with bringing a character back begin to erode the integrity of the show's emotional storytelling? Already, other storylines are suffering. New characters introduced with great promise are being sidelined. Romantic arcs are stalled. Villains are without purpose. Why? Because everyone is waiting for Nicholas. In many ways, the character has become too important. He's transcended the plot and become the plot itself. And the longer the show delays a resolution, either by reintroducing Coloma, doubling down on Huss, or writing Nicholas off entirely, the more unstable the emotional structure of the show becomes. Because Port Charles, as it stands, is haunted. Haunted by a character who is neither gone nor present, who is both dead and alive, both hero and villain. In the end, Marcus Coloma's potential return is no longer a simple matter of recasting. It is the embodiment of a new, dangerous form of obsession, an obsession that has spread from actor to audience to writer and now threatens to unravel the very logic of the show itself. It is obsession masquerading as opportunity. And whether Coloma returns triumphantly, tragically, or not at all, the damage may already be done. Because once a character becomes a symbol of obsession, he stops being a man. And once a show becomes addicted to that obsession, it stops telling stories and starts chasing ghosts. And in General Hospital, where every return is possible, when he comes back, who will be staring back in the mirror? Adam Huss is now at the center of one of the most electrifying storms General Hospital has seen in recent memory. Behind the polished gratitude he shares with fans and the measured appearances at public events lies a deeper reality, one fueled by shock, conflict, and a rapidly accelerating chain of creative disruptions. As whispers of Marcus Coloma's potential return continue to swirl, Huss finds himself confronting a brand new crisis. The very role he poured his heart into is now once again unstable. And with it comes a wave of emotional and professional repercussions that neither he nor the creative team at GH seem fully prepared to handle. What was supposed to be a triumphant chapter in his acting career, stepping into the role of Nicholas Cassadine, making it his own, and breathing new emotional complexity into the troubled prince, has now turned into something else entirely. A behind-the-scenes upheaval is unfolding. Scripts are being redrafted. Alliances are shifting. And Adam Huss, once seen as the steady hand guiding Nicholas's comeback, is now grappling with a volatile truth: his hold on the character may be slipping. Not because of failure, but because of a new obsession overtaking the narrative from all sides. Sources close to the show suggest that the internal creative team is divided. Some writers feel fiercely protective of the raw, soulful interpretation Huss brought to Nicholas, especially during the storyline involving his exile and shattered family ties. Others, however, believe that Coloma's colder, more volatile performance left a deeper mark on viewers, especially in storylines tied to Ava, Spencer, and Esme. As the decision-makers weigh these competing legacies, Adam Huss has been hit with a shock that cuts deeper than fan debate, the realization that his future in the role may depend not on performance, but on politics, timing, and executive preference. But rather than retreat, Huss is recalibrating. The shock of potential recast rumors has triggered something fierce and strategic in him. According to those who have spoken with the actor recently, Huss is already making calculated moves, privately speaking with showrunners, aligning with influential figures within the General Hospital ecosystem, and carefully crafting his public messaging to position himself not only as the right Nicholas for now, but the one who can carry the character forward into a more emotionally dynamic future. He isn't just defending his place, he's launching a new campaign, fueled by this very crisis. That campaign isn't just reactive, it's explosive. In recent appearances, there's a new intensity in Huss's tone, a sharper edge to his reflections. When he talks about Nicholas, it's no longer with detached professionalism. It's with the fervor of someone who feels like he's being asked to fight for something he already earned. His social media posts hint at new creative projects. Perhaps ones designed to showcase his emotional range, subtly reminding fans and producers alike of the depth he brought to the Cassadine legacy. These are not the moves of an actor merely waiting to be called back. These are the moves of a man on the offensive. And the explosion isn't just internal. The fandom has caught fire. Message boards, fan pages, and spoiler forums are ablaze with debate, not just about which actor should play Nicholas, but about what this power struggle says about GH's broader identity crisis. Is the show loyal to its actors or to its history? Is it more important to honor emotional continuity or to chase ratings with a more polarizing return? In this chaos, Adam Huss has become more than just an actor in limbo. He's become a symbol of something far greater, the fragility of creative ownership in the world of serialized storytelling. What makes this moment especially volatile is that all the pieces are moving at once. Writers are reconsidering long-term arcs involving Laura, Ava, and the Cassadine inheritance. Producers are feeling the pressure of social media factions, each lobbying for their preferred version of Nicholas. Meanwhile, Huss continues to fight a war on two fronts, emotionally. He's processing the shock of having to redefend a role he never expected to lose. Strategically, he's crafting a future where Nicholas doesn't just return, but evolves in a way that no one saw coming. And that may be the most important factor in this story, evolution. Adam Huss isn't just clinging to the past, he's imagining a new future for Nicholas. One where the character's trauma isn't just replayed, but reframed. Where his legacy isn't about power or betrayal, but about transformation, rebirth, and emotional reckoning. That's the angle Huss is quietly planting in every interview, every caption, every wink to fans. If the show must choose a path, he's making sure that path leads not backward, but forward, with him in front. In many ways, this is no longer about whether Adam Huss will play Nicholas Cassadine again. It's about whether General Hospital has the courage to follow through on the emotional journey it began when Huss first stepped in. Because this current eruption, this shockwave of uncertainty and reinvention, proves something vital. The obsession surrounding Nicholas is not just still alive, it's more dangerous than ever. And Adam Huss, wounded but awakening, isn't just part of the chaos. He may be the one who turns it into something unforgettable.